Hi, my name is Angit Singh, and I'm doing Master of Business in ERP system from Victoria University in Melbourne. I'm also working as a full-time IT system administrator for a Melbourne company. Basically, I'm learning this SAP Visual Intelligence software, and I'm watching a few videos and blogs and tutorials to learn this software. I have seen people using different data or their personal data to learn more about this software, and I have done actually today the same thing. The data that I'm going to use today is from a security software that we use in mail for mail security. Basically, in this software, like it's called a mail marshal, and what happens is when an email comes in, this office checks the email for any threat or any kind of unknown attachments or anything that can be harmful to company or to the user or staff. So what it does is like it checks this email, and then if the attachment is unknown, then it just put it in here. And our job is to basically check. The user sends an email to us, to release the email. So we go and check the attachment and the log, and then we release this email. But recently what we have done is we introduce a interface for the users, so that they can go, when the email is blocked, and they can go into that, and they can release this email by themselves. So they don't have to email us or call us. And it started happening since in January, and many people has adopted this method, but there are a few users, or I should say actually many users again, who basically still sending us emails and calling us to release the emails or check the emails. So they're not following the instruction that we sent. So what I've done is I I use Razor SQL to basically write a query here and then get the data from the database of this mail marshal software and get this information here. Later I exported that information to Excel. So you can see the action description here, and there's an action type. At the moment it's just the columns are not really sorted here. It's just a raw data. So what happened is, let's start with the action first. The action means that operator pass-through means that the operator has released the message. Now the user deleted means that the user or operator has deleted the message, and the forward means that the user kept the message in the system, but he also or she also forwarded the message to the actual recipient. And I think there's one more. Yeah, it's called operator continued. So the operator continued, which means that the operator tried to reprocess the email against all the rules and check for and further kind of infection or the checks or unknown attachment types for that particular email. So this action is performed by user, administrator, or me, or any user who's using the console that we provided to them, which is good. And basically then the email is released to a person or the recipient. So you can see here that the Brandon released an email to himself because he's using his console, and he's releasing this email to himself after checking the email, or he's deleting the emails. But there are some users who send the email to us, and we check the email and we release the email. Now it can be me here, Angel, or administrator. The reason why we have two, because I can use my own computer to do that, or I can log on to server to do that. So now you have a fair idea about what I'm gonna use, the data what I'm gonna use here. So let's get started. So let's get the data into the to the visual intelligence. So I'm gonna use Excel and browse to that folder. So you can see that all the things are here. The first thing is that I'm gonna make it a bit nicer here, so that you understand, or also I understand. So there's an action, and then I should rename it to performed by. Okay, so the action is performed by the person. Okay, so we go to now visualize tab here. And one more thing I have noticed, that here at the bottom, it basically show you all the semantic that can be enriched automatically. So I just go and show, and it's automatically picked up the cost as a measure. So that's fine. So we just say, yeah, enrich that. So now you can see the cost is automatically there. I think I forgot to tell you about the cost. Uh, it wasn't picked up from the database. I created this column by myself. So I said, if the cost, because I'm calculating the cost here for myself, the time that I'm putting into the to the to the to the stuff here, that I'm releasing emails, and it takes time because I check the email and then I release it. So I give the cost to myself as 100. So but and I also put that if even if it is like if it is done by administrator or Enged, then the cost is 100, else it's 50. So you can see here Brandon did it, so it's 50 here. Okay, and as you see that, the action performed by either me or administrator should be one thing. So what we gonna do here is we gonna click that thing, which is manipulation tools, so we can manipulate this data. I'm gonna group an administrator. I'm gonna create a new group, and then I'm gonna group administrator and Engage into one group. So let's rename it as administrators. Okay, and then I'm gonna move in Engage and administrator to that group. As soon as we create, okay, and one more thing, I don't want to keep the remaining value as others. I want to keep the original values because I want to see the names here, who's actually doing it. So as soon as I do, you will see here, it will create another column. So group by, and it also created here, look. So as when we go visualize here, so group performed by, so it has grouped it. All right, let's create some visuals here. And let's create it, because I'm gonna measure it by the counting. Uh, so I want to see, clearly you can see that I'm doing the most, and the administrator is doing the most, but we want to see it in a visual. So um, so I'm gonna create a first measure by this attribute here. So right click on that, or maybe hang on, something is wrong. Yeah, right click on it, create measure, and I'm gonna change that to count all. Alright, so when I drop this here, it's saying that I need to add one or more dimension. That's correct, because I need to give it dimension here. So I'm gonna say, yeah, performed by, and put a dimension as a action. So you can see the operator continued, the operator forwarded, operator passed through, user deleted. So, and it shows you all the counts here. But now next what we want to do is we want to see, okay, which folder it is happening the most. So I'm just going to put that in here. So clearly, like user deleted spam, so it's coming much here, and then here, and then here for this action, for this folder and this value. But now we want to see actually who's performing it. So we're gonna use this and put it here. Now it's not really clearly visible here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the uh, chart to stacked column chart. And as soon as we do, we can see something is happening. So something we can see. The administrators are doing much here. So 100. We are releasing or performing actions in this particular. We are deleting spam emails much more here. And then we are deleting, or sorry, we are passing or releasing emails for these kind of a folder like unknown attachment. So when email comes in, then the emails are coming with some attachment which is unknown to the system or the software. So we are releasing many emails here. And all this is basically the data is from January 2013 to April 2013. So far, yes, there were not many emails, but we did release few emails. And then you can see the multicolors here because users are doing themselves here. So what they are doing is they logging into the system, their own system, the console that we provided them. So they go into there, and then they for this particular action here, they go into there and they select the email and they say, yeah, continue, or they're releasing the email by themselves. So you can see different colors here. Now this is a bit worried thing because this user here, you can see the name Danny here, number 3. So Danny is basically he released 3 emails from a spam folder. So I don't know why. Maybe it was detected as a threat, and then but he thinks that it's a genuine email, so he released it. Now you saw that how quickly and clearly we can see, and I can show this to my manager or somebody else. Look, since even we have provided a system, but they are still not using it, and they are still asking us much more for this kind of extension and this. So we should really educate these users again and send an email to everyone. Yeah, so there's another thing that I created here, which is the cost. So I'm gonna show the cost here. Now to add a cost, I will just drag and drop this cost measure here to here. Okay, and I'm just gonna put this attribute here as in a legend color because I want to show a different color here, and I want to put it on top of it. So I just go on top. Yep. Here we go. So let's hide. You can see you can hide the label. Sorry, if you don't want to show the legends, so you can just click on that. So the graph is bigger now. And you can also click on this, so the thing will go to the left, and again the graph is bigger. So here, if I put it a mouse here over here, So I can tell my manager or management or so, or we can show this to users that look, we are spending a lot of time there. So you can see the my value is 10,000, whereas then the help desk week, I think, see, the help desk week is doing their job, and they're using the console that we provided to delete the emails and release the emails. Um, the deleting the emails, I won't be that much worried, but this thing here, like unknown attachment and executables files, we are doing much work here. We're spending a lot of time here, and users here, these users, the mentioned users here, they're basically following the instruction and doing it. Uh, that's all. So you saw that how I use the data, how I created the data, and I will appreciate your comments, and if you please let me know any more suggestions here that I can do, and I think I will chat to you and talk to you soon. Thank you very much for your time.